Of communication, we believe communication is more than just words. It's the foundation for success in every industry.
Our communication majors take a variety of our communication courses, from writing, editing, podcasting, video production, and social media classes. They are learning to become a leader in this ever-changing digital media industry with the fast-changing and evolving digital technology. As of for 2024, we brought our journalism degree back to campus. We have such a rich history in journalism education, and our students are getting trained to become digital storyteller in this changing media environment.
If I had to choose one word to describe the Department of Communication, it would be multidisciplinarity. Because I think that's at the core of communication. Multidisciplinarity, you learn from very different fields, and I think that that's one of the strengths in communication.
The professors at UND in the comm department were the reason I found what type of journalism I wanted to do. They're very good at guiding me in that direction. And they do a really good job of not really holding your hand, but pushing you to do better in a way that feels natural.
One of the opportunities that UND has brought to me is being co-president of the comm club, and this helps me to reach out to fellow students and give opportunities within communication.
Whether you're a major, minor, or just taking a few classes, we welcome you to discover everything communication has to offer. Here, your voice will be heard, your work will be seen, and together we will make a difference.
Did you enjoy the video? Yeah. Yesterday I went to bed after 2 a.m. to make this video. Hello everyone, my name is Joonghwa Lee. I'm the chair of the Department of Communication at the University of North Dakota. Thank you so much for attending the final presentation of the 2025 Digital Storytelling Summit. This year's summit is supported by the North Dakota Newspaper Association Education Foundation, UND Connect Grant, and the UND College of Arts and Sciences. The purpose of this summit is to help and support high school students around North Dakota to become better communicators with the digital content and digital media. As you know, nowadays, everyone can use digital media and everyone can create digital content. But how to use digital media and how to create better content are different stories. And that's why our department started to host the Digital Storytelling Summit last summer. And we want to make this summit our department's annual summer event for high school students. So I believe sending your children to this summit is one of your best decisions this summer. Today, students will present what they have learned and what they have produced. You will be surprised with the quality of their works to create these outcomes in 4 days. I'm very proud of their achievement. I'm very proud of them. So please enjoy their presentation and encourage them a lot. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Emily Buteau, Assistant Professor of Journalism in the UND Department of Communication.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here today. Like Dr. Lee mentioned, my name is Emily Buteau, and 10 years ago in August, I came to UND as a student, 18-year-old, fresh out of high school. I graduated from a very tiny town in North Dakota called Kandu, if anyone's ever heard of it. So like a lot of these students here, I have a lot of similarities and share a lot of background with where they came from and the things that they're looking for in their education. I have had the great pleasure of getting to know them this week, and it's been so fun to see my journey kind of come full circle. I came here and I attended UND, went back to school and got my master's and PhD, and now 10 years later I get to help the same students who were in my shoes 10 years ago, and it's been so fun and such a rewarding experience. I want to just say a few thank yous before we get started to recognize some of the awesome people who've made this event happen. First, I would like to thank the North Dakota Newspaper Association Education Foundation for being our main sponsor for this event. We would not have been able to do it without their support, as well as the College of Arts and Sciences and the UND Connect program. Next, I want to give a shout out to our community partners. As you'll see, we had 5 amazing community partners throughout the Grand Forks community, and I think they had so much fun working with our students. I know our students had so much fun working with them, and so we couldn't do that. We couldn't give them the real world hands-on experience without our community partners who are volunteering to be here. Also, our guest presenters who came and taught to our students and worked with our students and gave them feedback and advice and talked about internships and all of those great things. Next, a quick shout out to our 7 mentors, our interns. When I tell you parents, I could not think of 7 better people to be role models for your students. I'm serious. They are 7 of our best and brightest at UND, and they have been great mentors, great network building for your students. They have all the great advice, and I know that after this camp, if you reach out to them and have any questions about UND or college life or anything, they'd be more than happy to keep the conversation going. Next, I'd like to thank the parents who sent your students to this summit. I know that the first week of summer, going to a camp to learn for a week is probably not everyone's idea of fun. So I appreciate the nudge, the encouragement, and the guidance to get your students here. I hope that even if it wasn't your idea of fun, it turned into a lot of fun. And then finally, of course, I would like to thank our 16 students for joining us. Last year we had 12 students, this year we had 16. Last year they also we didn't require them to stay in the dorms, and so this was a whole new experience for this summit with these 16 students, and I believe that spending all day, every day with each other, you became really great friends, I hope, and learned a lot from each other, and not only learned but networked and made friendships. I was thinking last night of 3 words that I could use to describe this group of students, and this is what I came up with. First, I think these students are very curious. They have a lot of questions, which is awesome. That will serve you so well in any field you go into, whether it's communication or anything else. They're always asking questions, they're always wondering why and digging to learn more. And that leads into my next word, which is creative. Of course, to be a storyteller, you have to be creative. And so I think all of these students are on their way to becoming great storytellers. They have great ideas and they're not afraid to share them, and I love that. And then finally, the last word I came up with is brave. I can't imagine being a 14-year-old and deciding to go away for a week. So I know this is a lot of students' first time kind of away from home, especially for a full week. And so I just commend you for being brave and trying something new and stepping out of your comfort zone to come hang out with us for a week. We really, really appreciate it. And of course, we couldn't do the camp without the awesome students. So a round of applause for everyone who made this event happen, please. Okay, now my thank yous are done. We will move into the final presentation stage. So how it's gonna work is our groups of students will come up as a group and we'll let them have a chance to share something they thought about the camp, something they learned, just a few words each. And then they will display their community partner feature story that they wrote, as well as their community partner video that they created. And I just want to preface this, yes, it was a 5-day camp, but they met their community partners Monday afternoon. They met their group members Monday afternoon. They didn't even know what groups they were working in. Tuesday, they went on a field trip for half the day. We had jam-packed days of lessons and learning and activities. They were on scavenger hunts. They were eating a lot of food and snacks. And so in between all of that is when they worked very hard to complete these stories. So honestly, if you add it all up, they probably had maybe a day and a half, 2 days to actually get these final videos completed. So keep that in mind. And most of these students, I think this is their first time working with any equipment or software to create this kind of thing. So I think you'll be so impressed with the quality of work that came together in just a couple of days. So first, I'd like to welcome the UND biology group to the stage.
Hello, everybody. Well, hi, everybody. My name is Quinn Berg, and we were assigned to work with the biology department. And before we show you our finished product, I hope you can stomach a few more thank yous, because I've got a few of my own, starting with everyone in the audience. Thank you guys for coming out to see what we spent the last 5 days working on. I also wanted to give a special shout out to our community partner, the biology department, and everyone who helped us make this video. You'll see there's a multitude of people. And then, of course, I'd like to thank the communication department, specifically Dr. Buteau and Dr. Lee, for putting on such a wonderful event. Loved it. As you can see, it was a tiring one. And yeah, this whole week has been crazy. It's been loud and chaotic, and I have truly loved almost every single minute of it. And of course, I have to save the biggest thank you for my wonderful group. Guys, couldn't have asked for a better group of guys to work with. You made my job as easy as it possibly could have been. And I think it's going to be really great for everyone to see what you've created, because I know I'm proud. So I'll have them introduce themselves. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Quinn. Well, so I'm Jacob Drullo. I was the writer, director, editor, and interviewer for our group. I helped organize where we were going to interview the people. I communicated with Quinn about who we were going to interview and kind of sorted out those sorts of things. And I helped figure out what we were actually going to say and the questions. I also wrote the feature story. So see here, we got our feature story. It's about, just kind of discusses what the UND biology department's role is in the world and what it's, how it impacts our lives, and ultimately how it really influences us and we don't even realize it. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Ryan Singh. I recorded the interviews and I edited most of the video. That's about all I did. It's right here. Robert will play it for you after he introduces himself.
I'm Robert Burns, and I helped edit and also set up for the interviews. That's about it.
I've always been fascinated by animals and what they're doing.
When I was growing up, my parents always exposed us to these science videos.
I've always loved biology. I think it's because, they tell you not to say this, but when I was a little girl, I just loved being outside. And I know this sounds strange, but I've always loved playing with insects, so I'm an entomologist and a biologist.
Many of us are influenced by our parents. And my father used to take us out when we were little just to go, we would call them, we're going to go out and catch some lizards when we lived out in Las Vegas. About 5 years ago, I was watching TV, and there was this advertisement for this, what I call them doggy drugs. You give the dogs this drug, and they have complete flea and tick control. And I started thinking, well, why could we use that with Lyme disease and treat mice?
We work a lot with pollinating species. So I have a student that's working on a master's degree, and he was the state apiary inspector. And people don't realize this, but 60% of honeybees in the United States come here for the summer to rest from all the hard work they do. We ship them in on tractor trailers. And they just pollinate alfalfa and canola and just try to get better from all the hard work they do pollinating almonds and blueberries and cranberries and melons and apples all over the United States.
We try to understand stuff all the way from autism, like I said, to ADHD, and some other folks in my lab is looking at the older part of brain development, how we can mark early Alzheimer's just by looking at your eyes.
We need our food, we need agriculture, it's an important part of our economy. But there are ways of doing those things that don't necessarily muck it up for everybody else that lives out there, like the frogs or the ducks or whatever it happens to be. And so, I think that's a contribution right there, because we can have, in a way, we can have our cake and eat it too. We can do the things that are important to human societies, and if we're smart about it, we don't necessarily lose biodiversity, which is a big concern nowadays.
Invasive species are a huge problem in terms of insects. They come across on all sorts of things. When I worked with Department of Agriculture, we had some that come across on packing materials of Italian tile.
When I got into taking entomology classes, entomology, people think it's kind of a geeky thing, but it's actually a very big field, large field, and there's many, many ways you can go. And the thing that attracted me most with entomology was the disease aspect, transmission of disease, and that really fascinated me. So that's the direction I took. I think it's a mistake to think of humans as separate from other species in the world. We are very, very interconnected. We depend upon, let's take our insects. Okay, we depend upon insects to pollinate our crops. Okay, we depend on insects to make products for us. Okay, we compete with insects as competitors for our food and our fiber. And in my instance, we have insects that could transmit diseases. So we are intimately involved with other species, whether they're insects, whether they're bacteria, whether they're viruses. They impact our lives. And
the mosquitoes and the ticks are also great examples of sort of the intersection of ecology and, say, public health.
So there's our video. Once again, hope you enjoyed, and thank you very much.
Now we will welcome our UND chemistry group to the stage. Just a little note, we'll have a Q&A session at the end, so if you have any questions for your student or about their groups or anything like that, we'll ask all the questions at the end.
Hi, I'm Zach. I was our media coordinator for our group. First, I'd just like to thank the communications department for putting on this event. It was a lot of fun all week. And then I want to thank the chemistry department for partnering with us and helping us with our video. I also wanted to thank my group, Ben, Cooper, and Loki, for their hard work on this project. They put in a lot of work, and I think our project came out very good. This week was a lot of fun. It was really fun to watch the kids learn and grow and create amazing stories and meet a bunch of new friends.
Howdy, my name is Benjamin Carpenter. I got the opportunity to work on our feature story. I created the newspaper you see above. I took some of the photos we found online, but it was just a blast to meet all these new people and to work with the chemistry department.
Hello everybody, I'm Cooper Fry. I did a good chunk of the interviewing portion, but everyone here was answering questions, so I just want to say a quick thank you to both the partners and Zach. We were all worked together well and all made the entire experience really enjoyable, but I did most of the interviewing and then I did most of the editing for the video, and that's pretty much it for me.
My name is Loki Silskar, and during the whole project, I was helping with the audio recording, and I was holding this pretty large microphone. I also helped with camera angles and editing. I also was asking some questions during the interviews. And this is our video.
Chemistry at University of North Dakota is a fairly small department. We have about 20 faculty. People get to know each individual student.
My name is Sonia. I'm a graduate student, and my research is mostly on forensic science. The group I am, I always have like weekly meetings with my research, so she always find time.
The certification means that we are really certain level of quality. So there is total of over 700 programs which have this accreditation and recognition, and we are certified since 1949.
Chemistry is that like central science, having applications in the environment, in the human system, in energy.
We get medicines, we get foods, and on a daily basis we apply some perfumes and some other stuffs, all things involved in chemistry.
This lab is of Dr. Zhao, and it's doing research on nanoscience and nanoparticles.
My name is Yu Jie Xue in Dr. Zhao's lab.
So we have some mirror to trace the nanoparticles, and then in this way we can see where the tumor cells and the cancer cells are, so we can help the surgeon to remove the cancer cells and the tumor cells.
To actually see some images of the human hair. Okay, this is a dental vacuum. We use this to coat our samples.
The main thing that we do in this lab is to take those insects, analyze the constituent of those insects, and see if we can actually detect those metabolites, cocaine and its metabolites.
I became interested in chemistry when I went to Yellowstone National Park and I saw the melting pots and the geothermal geysers there, and I wondered why they looked the way they did and why they interacted with nature.
I work specifically on what is known as lignin, this plant-based material, and how we can convert this material that is either found in nature or as a commercial waste product, how we can convert that into different chemicals, different fuel sources, and how we can create these different pathways to make a greener future for our environment.
We can manage many aspects in our lives with chemistry. Besides I can feel a sense of accomplishment when making something, synthesizing something very successfully.
Synthesizing things like drugs, polymers, nanoparticles, and as well as some bioimaging things and biosensors.
We are very interested to do research and provide hands-on experience.
All right, next we will welcome Abigail's book and gift shop group to the stage, please.
Hey everyone, my name is Lincoln Retzloff. I am the media coordinator for our project we did. A few thank yous to the Unity Comm department, Dr. B, Dr. Lee, Abby Berg for letting us come into her shop, film, and I really hope you like the video we made. My group put in a lot of effort, and I'm very proud of what they did this week. So.
Hello, my name is Brinley Steigman. I worked mostly on our feature story as well as the newspaper section. So a little bit about the feature story is Abigail is located in Grand Forks. She's located in Midtown Market. She's been amazing to work with. She's so nice. So the feature story is basically about how she came to open her bookstore and how that process happened, the journey it's been. The interview was great. She was great. There's not much more to say about that. Here's the newspaper as well. Yeah, and then here's that.
Hi. So hi, I'm Olivia Dendy, and I also help with the feature story and just helping write a portion of that, as well as some various things just with filming, such as lighting and helping structure our interview portion and just helping out with the video that you'll see next.
Hi, I'm Amelia. I did mostly the video, directing it, asking interview questions, making interview questions, and then kind of just like the loose shots. And I had awesome help from Livia to do the editing.
Hi, I'm Livia, and I filmed and helped with the editing process.
Rock on.
Hi everyone, my name is Abby. I'm the owner at Abigail's Book and Gift Shop, and today we're here at my shop at Midtown. I own and I operate and I do quite literally everything. I wear every single hat that this business needs. Our selection is curated by myself, and I have a 3-step process. The first step are books that I've read and can recommend. I pick from current bestsellers and new releases, and I also love to hear customer recommendations. I have always been a lifetime reader, a longtime lover of books, and honestly, there's not anything like this in Grand Forks. I started online in September of 2022, and honestly, I didn't really do that much with it. It quite literally sat on a shelf in my guest bedroom for about 8 months, and then opportunity knocked, and I found myself here at Midtown. And in the last 2 years, we've grown exponentially. It's been really, really cool. But supporting a small business is worth that extra $3 investment. It lets me fulfill my dream. It lets me give back to my community. It lets me buy more shelves. My business is a little bit whimsical. It's cozy, and it's super welcoming. We're here, we want you here, and you're welcome here.
Scene 1, 2, what are we doing?
Next, we'll have the Northern Plains UAS test site come to the stage, please.
Hi everybody, my name is Kira Musil and I was the media coordinator for the Northern Plains UAS test site group. And like everybody else, I have some thank yous to give. First to the comm department, Dr. B and Dr. Lee, for giving me this opportunity to kind of direct and hang with this group of students. It was really, really fun. And yeah, I had so much fun. I didn't think I'd have this much fun. Thank you to the test site and Victor for letting us work with you. The students, I know, they can probably vouch for it. They had a blast just getting to see the drones, play with them, just everything about it. It was amazing. And then to parents and guardians, you guys have raised some amazing, brilliant kids. I don't think I have laughed harder at the school than I did this week. I just had a blast, and I guess that's my main point. But yeah, I had a great time working with you three, and I don't think I have anything else to say, but I'll pass it on to you guys.
Hi, I'm Kaylee Stansberry, and I got to work on UAS with my wonderful teammates. We had a splendid time doing this. I worked on the feature story, which is right here. I did the some of the things on there, but just like overall for our presentation, we really wanted to focus on our perspective of the drones. As you can probably read up there, usually they're the bad guys and people are very uneasy about them. And we wanted to put out there that they're not. They are very good. There are very good things that the drones can do. And we really wanted to put that out there for everybody to see, because we got to see a very close side of the drone, or a very personal side of the drones. We got to play with them. We got to fly them, which was probably my favorite part. We got to talk to Victor and their pilot Hunter. I just had a blast. It was just amazing. So I'll pass it on to Rain.
Hi, I'm Rain Katovich. We all worked on the feature story. She mostly talked about the drones. She explained the company, and I did the interview aspect of the feature story, and we all kind of worked on the formatting and the different things for the feature story. And so yeah, and I had a lot of fun, like Kaylee said. So
hello, I am Anna Greedle. I would say we all contributed on about everything. We all did the filming. I worked with the camera mostly. They did the lights and the microphone, and I did some interview questions, but we all worked on it together. And then the video, I did most of the editing, but we all contributed, and the writing, we all put it together. So I'm very thankful for this group because we worked together and we were productive and we were early so we could have time to rest. And yeah, so here is our video.
I am Rain Katovich, and I'm from right here in Grand Forks. My favorite part would definitely be physically flying the drone and controlling it and seeing the footage on the remote in the air. That was really cool.
I'm Hunter Hagel. I am the Vantas UAS operations lead. I pretty much oversee all the operations, both drone related and regulatory related. Alright, so we have our power button right here. We have our return to land if anything goes crazy while we're in the air. These sticks are going to be able to manipulate. We're going to see that the wind's out of the west, so we're going to take off from the west. Ready to take off?
Yep.
Sweet.
My name is Kaylee Stansberry, and I'm from Enderlin, North Dakota. I would think it would save a bunch of time if we had a life-threatening issue, medically.
I'm Anna Greedle, and I'm from Starkweather, North Dakota. I think drones could help communities, and my community especially, because Victor was telling us about fires, how the drones can help show where like the hottest part of the fire is, so firefighters can accurately put it out.
I am Victor. When we go out and fly drones, we're not going out there to look in people's windows, get a sense of what they're doing in their backyards and things like that, where the public is most worried about. We're here to help public safety.
Okay, last but not least, we'll welcome the Greater Grand Forks Young Professionals Group to the stage.
Hello everyone, I'm Emily Hybe. I'd like to first off thank Dr. Lee and Dr. B for this wonderful opportunity, and I'd like to thank our community partner, Christy over here. I had such a great time this entire week with these girls. I never really thought I'd have such a great opportunity like this to first off like mentor them and help them kind of expand their knowledge in the digital storytelling. So I'll turn it over to these girls.
Hello, I'm Lillian McKeef Stetson. I'm a junior at Bismarck High. And although I already had prior knowledge in writing feature stories, I learned a lot on how to write feature stories at this camp. I also got to learn how news stations work at our WDIY field trip. My favorite part was all the team bonding activities along with writing the feature story, meeting the North Dakota Newspaper Association representatives, and of course the food and meeting new people.
Hello, I'm Cordelia. I'm going to be a senior in Bismarck. My favorite thing about this whole camp was definitely the people. And they're all super fun and vibrant, not just my fellow camp members, but everyone we worked with. My favorite thing that I learned was probably the newspaper internships all over North Dakota and Adobe Express. That was very fun to mess around with.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming. My name is Caitlin Melee, and I am going to be a senior at Central High School. I'm super thrilled to be here today to share my experience and all of our experiences from this summer's Digital Storytelling Summit. And I would like to add on to the thank yous for being here today. It's such an honor, and it means a lot to all of us and all of the students for all of your support. And I would like to say that even though I went to last year's summit as well, this one is just as, if not even more fun, because everyone behind the scenes at UND, they went out of their way to make this experience such a blast, and it's been so amazing. This week I had the opportunity to befriend a colorful group of future UND students, journalists, and leaders. It was an incredible such an incredible opportunity to connect with professors and student interns as well. I learned so much more about the power of utilizing different mediums, especially with technology, for storytelling, such as journalism, photography, videography, interviewing, etc. And it's exciting that everyone has such a unique perspective on how we use technology and the media we're given to tell such amazing stories. Again, I'd like to extend a heartfelt thanks to Dr. Lee and Dr. Buteau for their invaluable teachings and their friendships, and to UND's student interns for making me feel like I was a part of UND's campus. And And thank you to the fellow students for making me feel like I've just had such an amazing group of friends. Well, we're almost basically family at this point. And just, again, thanks so much for coming. And here is what our group has created.
Okay, so while we all definitely tag teamed pretty much everything, we each contributed to something more than another. For me, that aspect was the feature story. So to write the story, I pulled information from the interview and other things I learned from Christy Coleman while shooting, and I also pulled from their websites and social medias and reviewed a ton of times. In a nutshell, this article covers how Greater Grand Forks Young Professionals became what it is and how to join.
I helped a lot with the graphics for our feature story. We wanted it to look like a newspaper while still matching our company's like branding. We included their logo colors, which is blue, green, and gray, as well as putting some photos of the Orange Bag Project and the person we talked to, who is Christy Coleman. And yeah, so then that's our page.
From what I did, I focused primarily on editing the video and adding on a little bit to our story. And we spent some time around the downtown area to get our footage and things like that. And so we hope you enjoy our video, and thank you, Christy Coleman, for your help.
I just don't know where to go after college. I'm like so lost.
What are you looking at? No. I think you should stay right here. Grand Forks has everything that you could possibly need. I'm Christy Coleman, and I am the current member at large for the Greater Grand Forks Young Professionals. So at our core, GGFYP is a workforce retention group. We really aim to keep young people and young talent in this community. So we started in 2008. There was just a group of a few young professionals that got together and were really thinking, I want to meet more people just like us. So they put flyers out that they were going to host their first young professionals meeting at Parrots Cay in town. When the night finally came, there was over 40 people that attended the meeting. It absolutely packed the place. So they quick drew up a last-second agenda on a bar napkin, and that's kind of how Young Professionals came to be. And now it's really grown and evolved, and as I've said previously, we're about 450 members strong. We have a board of directors that serves us very well. We have numerous corporate sponsors throughout the community. Some of our visionary sponsors include UND and All True, which they really are great champions for our success. The Young Professionals group, that can sound kind of intimidating and sound like we really focus on the professional piece, but really at the end of the day, we're just a group of like-minded people that join together, and we want to create a good network and a good community for ourselves. And if you develop professionally, that's great, but outside of the workplace, there's so much more to a person too. So we also want to help you develop personally, create new connections, create meaningful relationships with people around you, because it really gives you a reason to stay in this community when we develop the personal piece. Our volunteer efforts have impacted numerous nonprofits. One of our marquee events every year is our Orange Bag event, where we go around to all the area nonprofits, collect needs lists from them, and then we do the legwork of getting the bags out to communities and asking for those donations. And then we also do the work on the back end of sorting them and delivering them to where they're going to make the most impact. So one of our core pillars is community involvement, because YP as a whole, we really believe in the importance of giving back to the community that we live in. So a lot of things that we do is we volunteered for nonprofits, we've collected donations, done drives for them, and it's really just making our presence known. So our professional development pillar is hosted by our professional development chair, and they really champion things that are going to help our young professional members evolve as a professional. So things like lunch and learns, where we have various speakers come and host different topics and kind of just teach us over like an hour of our day that can sometimes be wasted. Our social events committee plans all of the fun type activities that GGFYP holds, so things like coffee hours and volleyball leagues. We're doing yoga in the park next week, and just kind of the events where there's not really any kind of agenda. It's just come, hang out, meet people that you like, and do an event that you'll enjoy.
job to all the groups. Can we get one more round of applause for everybody? Yay! We are so proud of the work that they did and the partnership within the communities that we made. Next, we're gonna just ask all of the students to kind of, half of you come on stage and maybe half of you stand in front of stage, and we'll pass the microphones around and do a quick audience Q&A. If you have any questions about their videos or their partners, what they learned, their favorite part of camp, anything like that, we're just gonna pass the microphone around for Q&A. So come on up, please. You guys can disperse. First brave audience member.
You look like you have a question.
I do.
Oh, right over there. Got out of
To anybody really, how will your clients use the material that you created for them?
Well, hopefully, at least for my group's video, we're hoping that our community partner will be able to use both our feature story and our video that we created to help bring in more people to their company.
I'm talking for all three of us here with the chem department. When they came up to us and asked us to do this, they were talking about getting more people understanding that they have all this information and they post all of their findings from their research. So with our video and our feature story, we're just trying to get more knowledge about the chemistry department and how chemistry isn't just what you think it is with all the scary mixing materials and blowing stuff up. It is so much in our lives and we value it so much, but we don't even realize.
We got really lucky. Our community partner, Victor, said that whatever we created will be posted. So hopefully our video can, give people a better understanding about drones and hopefully, maybe rein in some new workers and, just get a better light on drones.
I guess our community person said it best themselves, that they're there, they want you there, and you're welcome there.
I'd probably say for the biology department, a lot of people associate biology with dissections and kind of, it's a bit crude, but icky stuff, like really gooey or whatever. And the fact is that biology is so diverse and it covers such a wide range of things that there's basically anything for everyone. So I think that what they'll probably do is when they go to high schools to recruit, they'll probably use our video, or they might incorporate our feature in a newspaper or a newsletter for promotions to bring in more students into their program to help the world, essentially.
So at the beginning, someone had said the difference between just content creation and actually telling the story. I think that you guys all put together really great stories and taking the pieces from the interviews and putting it together. Does anyone want to speak to just what it really means to not just create content, but put it in a way that is consumable for people to listen to and really get your story across?
Well, since we haven't just specifically focused on digital media, we focus on all kinds of media, like writing down ideas for podcasts and writing down headlines for stories and things like that, in a way that all sorts of media is it can be made for anyone and everyone. And so in a way, how we craft it is that it's vital to know who your audience is and things like that. you'd ideally want to make your approach as broad as possible, as you want to reach as many people as you can. But you can also use all of those unique tools that you have at your disposal and make sure that you not only use what you were given at your fingertips, but also utilize your creativity and just amp it up and make it even better.
For me personally, making the media is kind of broad, just making the media. We're making the story, every story has a purpose. And media is just to find entrance where making the story, you can have that deeper meaning that you work towards with the bookstore. You have trying to get more people to come and more people go and shop at the bookstore, even see what it's about, even if you just walk in and look around. That's getting more talk about the bookstore. With the chemistry department, kind of learning more about chemistry to get more people to want to come to college about chemistry, or the biology department with the same thing, just making better understanding of what stuff is and trying to get a certain reason, because if you have that certain reason with your storytelling, then it all just comes together better, and the final product, as you saw from everybody, ends up really nicely.
We also learned a lot about how to create like a successful story. Like Dr. Jess told us, you know, people are very visual, like they like visual stuff. So clips shouldn't be more than like 8 seconds because people like lose focus. And also just knowing about like music in the background, making sure that's not overpowering your audio, and also like visual graphics. So that's like incorporating into your story, because you could just have like a video, but it doesn't have all those actual visual aspects that catch people in and build that story. But when you learn how to do that and you incorporated it, it really like adds to the story and really catches more people's attention.
Definitely what everyone else said, but then also, like they said, like it's really important to look at, like I can make a 10 or 2-minute video easily, but it's not going to be good. Like in comparison to all the editing we did, all the music, all the work, photos, B-roll, everything, like how to make it more appealing is so different than just making a 2-minute video.
So the point of communication really is just to translate for the general public so that you can understand how connected everything is and why it's important.
All right. Hey guys, you guys did really fantastic job. Yeah, that's really awesome. And thank you to the communication department. You know, this is really for these guys. It's, you know, now they are independent thinkers and independent doers sort of thing, you know. So yeah, great job. For me, you know, when you guys were going into those departments and talking to the professors and asking questions, I'm just a little bit curious, like you guys plan ahead, like, okay, what kind of questions are we going to ask and who are the professors we want to go and meet and talk to, or you pick the grad students working in the lab? Like, how did you guys plan for that?
Well, it was mostly just, so our first interview was with our client, is Dr. Newman. And when we first met him, we were just discussing with him, and we kind of just addressed who we were going to interview, and we talked with him about what some of the professors and what some of the PhD and undergrad students were working on over the summer, because for them it's more like during the school year it's more just learning, and then during the summers when they get really busy and they do all their research. Like the bees get moved from all around the United States, 60% gets moved to North Dakota. So it's more just finding people that are actually available, and so it's more so siphoning through all the lists, because we had probably a list that was about 8 different subjects, and as you saw, we only got 4. So it's just really finding the people that are actually available. It was just more of a, okay, who's available, who can actually get interviewed. I'm gonna be honest, I did it the day of. I did the day of the interviews.
So for us, for our questions, we kind of like thought through like what things do we want to ask. So one of our bigger question was, what do people misunderstand about drones? And that really that was kind of the main purpose of this video, or our feature story, was what do people understand or misunderstand about these drones? And we got to hear from Victor, our community partner, and a pilot. And there were like a bunch of stuff that they said in our article. There was like, what do people hate? And it was the noise, or like them being used like as peeping toms, or war usage where people are like, they're deadly, they're just mean and disgusting, like nobody wants them. But really, they're just like really great additions to the world. And yeah, that's kind of what it was.
Our team, we also prepared by just making sure everyone was on the same page. Having everyone in your group on the same page really helps. So we had like a lot of meetings. And then for actual shooting, we really knew we wanted some drone shots, and luckily we did get some, so that really added to our video.
So we got to have a meeting with our community partner before we went out. So we kind of discussed what they wanted the video to look like. So that night we could go ahead and plan like who we're wanting to talk to, where we're wanting to go. We ended up, like you saw, going downtown because that's right by their office, and we got a lot of cool shots. And we did work on our interview questions beforehand, so that it was just quick and easy.
Yeah, so we met our community partners Monday afternoon, and then throughout Monday night and Tuesday morning, we wrote interview questions. We just wrote a bunch to try and cover everything because we didn't really know what to expect when we got there. So we just kind of wrote questions about all different kinds of chemistry, including computational chemistry, which was kind of a big thing, an important thing when we were planning.
And to add on for who we wanted to interview, with the chemistry department, Elena, our community partner, she was really nice in the form of being able to get us into 4 different labs that we could work with. So we went in and they even showed a demonstration of how all their instruments worked. So we kind of went on based on when we showed up. She was saying where we were going, but all of the students that we came in, we asked a couple quick questions, and then they showed us a demonstration, which also expanded our knowledge of everything that chemistry has to offer and everything that they do in chemistry, which was really fun and really interesting.
As you can see, depending on what our topic was, our techniques of asking questions and how we prepared our interview questions definitely varied. But as a whole, we all of our groups brainstormed together and then trimmed down our questions to what was the most what had the most primary importance. And so things like what would capture the audience's attention the most, not only that, but what would also make the best impact for who we are making the video for as well. And so just brainstorming and communication between members and just sharing ideas really helped the interviewing process.
So I know personally for Abby's bookstore, we got to really get personal with her, especially in our first interview. We all got to sit down with our community partners, and we kind of got to know her process, got to know how she got here. I think that helps all of us a lot to kind of understand where people came from and what they want. So we kind of understood how she wanted us to play this out. I know Amelia helped big time with all the questions. That helps to have a plan beforehand. Yeah, working together as a group is really the word that I'm trying to use. Yeah, sure. Yeah, important to kind of go ahead and proceed with this.
Okay, I guess I have a much less technical question, but it's kind of fitting for the organization that I represent. But especially for the people that aren't from Grand Forks, is there something that coming into the UND campus and the and the greater Grand Forks community, were you just like surprised, or anything that you were like, oh, I really love this about Grand Forks, and that kind of changed your mindset about the community as a whole?
Just being on the UND campus, I noticed that it's a really inclusive environment, and like there's places for everybody and clubs for everyone, and there's a lot of things for everyone.
Coming here was a little scary, but everyone was like so welcoming, and I mean, I guess I was just nervous for that, but also just the campus in general, it's very like open, and we walked around a lot, and it was very pretty. Our dorms were very, very nice as well, and it was just a very fun place to like get to see Grand Forks, and it was like a really good opportunity to just like see more of it and meet more people, and like Dr. Lee and stuff. It was very nice to meet you guys and like get those connections.
Now we'll go the opposite side of the spectrum. I've been in Grand Forks a lot because all of my family is at UND right now and just finished this year, or they graduated from UND, so I've been around the campus. But with all of the 5 days of staying in the McVeigh dorms, which I would also agree is really nice, you see kind of the inner workings behind all of it that you may not see from just like a half day that you're there for a hockey game, or seeing it for a white coat ceremony for my sister, or anything like that. You see even more deeper into what UND has to offer, because one of the nice things that I'm going to mention is they had, in the McVeigh floor that we were on, they had a lounge with a TV and a bunch of couches and everything. So we may or may not have set up a Mario Kart tournament with my Switch that we were all playing, but kind of with all these spaces, they really have space for you to be friendly and be inclusive, and that was definitely another side of UND that I know I haven't seen, and it was really a fun thing to see.
So I'm also on that side of the spectrum. I live here, but I've never actually seen the inner workings of, like, let's say like here in the Memorial Union, or like even in the dorms. I've never really seen those places, and just getting to know like all these people and all these people who have gone to UND it's been really like eye-opening, because I never really because I live so close to here, I've just I've grown up like walking around, seeing the campus and everything, and I just I never realized how great it was, I guess, because it was just like, oh, I see the UND campus all the time, and then now seeing like some of the cooler aspects and meeting some of the people who might go here, it's really, really cool, and I had a lot of fun with everybody here and making a lot of new friends, so it's been really great, and yeah.
This is about UND especially. I like that one of the colors is pink. I think that's pretty cool. And kind of the history about that with like the prairie rose, I thought that was pretty interesting when we learned about that. But on the other side, I also really like how our leaders and our professors, they feel like leaders, but they don't make you feel like stupid or bad for not knowing, and they are very inclusive, and they come and talk to you. Like Dr. Lee came and talked to me a bunch, and Kira, our leader, she was really good, and they really helped me out and, made me think, but didn't make me feel stupid and made me feel really included.
So I would just like to add on to everybody's else's opinions. Just being at this camp and being on campus, I felt like, I was like, wow, this is what college life is kind of like. I mean, maybe not seeing the same faces for about, the whole day, but, being in those dorms, getting to be best friends with my roommate, it was just kind of me and Liv, we would stay up talking until midnight. It was very fun. I got to see the fun side of college. Usually it's kind of college is fun, but you're kind of no, it's not. It's just more high school. I got to see the fun side of life in college, so that was pretty fun.
I'm really glad I had this opportunity to make a lot of friends and learn a lot about communication. The mentors here, it wasn't like they sort of told you everything you needed to do. You kind of had to figure that out, and they also helped you and guided you. It's kind of like they were also working with us rather than supervising us, and I thought that was really cool.
I'm going to be honest. I thought with the camp, I just thought it was going to be very much like a newspaper or a news station environment where it's very stressful and all that. But they made it it was stressful, but it was also stress-free at the same time, because it was an enjoyable environment. The interns, they feel almost like siblings now, even though it's only been a week. They feel like siblings. And with the faculty, they almost feel like parental figures here at UND. And I kind of, being in North Dakota and seeing with the rest of the country, North Dakota is kind of seen as being a bit behind in the times sometimes. And coming here, I see that not everywhere in North Dakota is as behind as people think it is. And it's a very unique experience to come to UND, and I honestly am considering doing the 3+3 program.
Okay.
All right. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So, like, at least for me, I'll actually be a student here starting in this fall. So not only was it just nice to be able to, like, explore the buildings, explore campus, but I think I can say for all of us pretty much that just being in the whole space just of UND and being able to learn and grow with each other, that was really nice, as well as just the interns and getting to know people, professors, and just everyone, and knowing that, like, college isn't as scary as you might think it is. I mean, everyone is just super nice. The interns gave up a week of their summer for us just to help us kind of learn and grow and get to know the space. And so I just think that was really helpful for all of us, was just being able to meet so many new people and know people that can help us along the way, and just know that college isn't scary and we can learn and grow together.
So I'm from Minnesota. I'm not from here. I've never been to Grand Forks, so coming here was like a whole new experience. There is a lot of interconnectedness, I've noticed. Like, everybody kind of, I don't know, grooves with each other. That's a weird word to say, but everybody's just so nice. And like the support for the small businesses is insane. Like, I don't see that in Minnesota. So it's pretty cool here.
Also, shout out to Lincoln, because he wasted his 21st birthday with us.
All right. Just everything was great, and I really enjoyed that drone. That drone video was probably the best one, I think. I don't know why, but no. But I guess a good question for you is we all learn through struggling, and we always get better through struggling. I want to know, what was the hardest part about this, and how did you overcome those struggles? Sorry, hard question.
No, it's okay. Let's see. Definitely, one of the harder aspects was kind of the time crunch, or what we thought was the time crunch, but a really interesting thing, it seems like the day before the videos were due, we were all in panic mode. We were like, oh my gosh, like, I can't get this done in this amount of time. What are we gonna do? And then after a little bit of like calming down, a little bit of taking a few steps back, rethinking, hey, no, we need to hyper focus. We can do this. We thought a lot of like future tense, basically, and we thought what would be the best for not only us to make sure the workload is not stressful, completely stress free, but also done at an efficient time. So definitely the seemingly short time crunch that we thought we had, and also technology can also be our best friend but also our worst enemy at the same time, as there was a couple of bugs here and there and some internet problems, but thankfully we got through it. So
Also, the goal was to have 1,000 words in your feature story, and that was something that I've never had. There's never been a word count on pretty much anything. So when it was about 4 o'clock yesterday, and I was about 400 words. Yeah, shed some tears.
So kind of to add on Caitlin's last quote about the tech issue. So with the chem department, we were in the middle of filming and we didn't even have any cord, and our camera died. So we were lucky enough to have Zach there with his personal camera that was way higher quality, if you could realize from some of the clips. So our camera dying was a big struggle, and then it's always a big struggle to learn new things. So for some of us here, not even knowing Adobe Express, to end up making this video and learning all of it in 4.5 days or however much we worked was really a struggle. But in the end, when you realize the final product, it was really relieving and really nice.
Something else that was kind of hard was the very early mornings. When we went over to the news station in Fargo, we had to be at the elevators by 6:15, was it? 6:40. Well, I woke up at 16 then, or 6:16. But the early mornings were definitely very hard. But it was also very fun because we were all tired, but we'd eat breakfast together and just chat, and that was probably one of my favorite parts too. So it's a good mixture. And the days are also very jam-packed, which is a good mixture, like I said, because it's nice to learn all these things, and it's nice to get all this information and talk to so many new people, but it's also kind of hard to just also get that information all at once.
In short, a lot of our days were filled with adrenaline. A lot of adrenaline.
Adrenaline and caffeine for some people here. I know Jacob over there was pounding energy drinks like crazy.
I would have to say, personally, for me, the writing was really, really hard because I've never really written a feature story before, but I had my amazing group mates, and I had one of the presenters, I guess, Allison. She was super, super helpful, helping me with my feature story and making it more succinct and much more palatable. And so that's how I really overcame working on the writing aspect.
So the hardest part for me was just trying to cram everything in, trying to all make it work. I mean, with my team, we thought we were efficient for the first 2 days, and then Thursday came along and we were we gotta get stuff done. We had a majority of it done, but we had a couple bugs. We had internet connection issues, but we got it all done. I mean, we still finished first, which kind of a little brag, but we didn't have to pull the all-nighters like the boys. So, but the good part about it is that we got done, and afterwards we were we're done, and we were proud of our production. We were that was good. We wouldn't change anything else about it.
So for me, I'm a writer. I don't do video editing. Not my cup of tea. I like sitting down in front of a computer screen and writing. I didn't touch a single sentence on that page. I did all the video editing. I've never done a video before. I've never I've never edited anything. Adobe Express, didn't even know that existed. So, figuring that out. But Lincoln, my great intern friend, reminded me what would happen if I failed. So that helped a lot. And that's all.
I think the hardest part for especially me and Jacob this whole time was probably getting some quality sleep. I think the cardboard beds at the Olympics might have been more comfortable than our beds. And when your roomie is like a human megaphone, it's a little hard to go to sleep.
So as Cooper said, there's only one morning this week where I did not start off with a Red Bull. I think was the first day or the second day we went to the convenience store. It's just downstairs, and we came out with I think it was 840 milligrams, like the equivalent of 840 milligrams, 870 milligrams of caffeine. Yeah, that lasted us till Wednesday. So I was starting every morning with Red Bulls and all of that, and the problem is that we actually the interviews were a little later, and so because of that we couldn't work on the feature story until we had all the interviews done, and so that's why we had to pull an all-nighter, and it involved tears and screaming and a lot of cussing, colorful language. Let's go with that. And a very colorful video that then got deleted because he turned out that he was actually wrong. As kind of the director, I made sure to kind of alleviate as much work as I could from the interns because they're sacrificing their summer and they're also getting paid. So I want to make it so that they get paid for doing almost nothing. And so what I made sure was that. And as a writer, no clue how to edit, no clue what like videography is pretty much. And so I just kind of shoved videography on these two guys, and then I did everything else.
I just have a couple things to add on that. The one thing I don't like about UND is that it's a cashless campus, and I don't have a kind of card, so I was not able to get like any energy drinks. And I'm a bubbler girl, so I was thugging it out every day with that. So, and then also on Amelia's, I've used video editing software, but never Adobe Express. And the audio is really tricky, especially with like layering and stuff. So sometimes it gets like, and also it's kind of glitchy. Like if you start it in the middle, sometimes it'll play audio that isn't there. And like, yeah, it just like glitches and cuts off stuff or adds stuff that you don't want it to. And it's really frustrating.
Can I tell you something about UND? We are at a digital storytelling summit, so you would think we'd have really good Wi-Fi. I had 0 bars. I was in SOS half the time I was in that room, and the other half of the time, I would be all the way up on my Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi would say I was perfect, and I would end up sitting there staring at a clip that was glitching out. At one point, we had to take a half-hour break because my computer was glitching out. So, I'm just really, thanks.
We're all so proud of you, and then listening to your stories, all fun, hardships, struggles, everything. The idea of storytelling you had before, and after spending weeks with UND professors and all the mentors and living in campus for like a week, how is it different from idea before and then now? Compare it, like, yeah.
So I had gone to a digital storytelling summit before, but honestly still thought storytelling meant like Little Red Riding Hood. So then when I got here and like actually learned that it's not even close to that, it's like how digital media is done, so it can be done in so many different ways, and it's not Little Red Riding Hood.
So my perspective of digital storytelling was completely changed. When I came here, before I was like, oh, we're just making videos. We're just, putting something out there. I personally did not think storytelling was much. I was like, TikTok, that's pretty much it. But when I got here and we learned, I was like, no, it's much deeper. It's much more personal than what TikTok and YouTube is. It is so much more personal because we got to tell stories about our community partners, and we really got to I don't know, it was just more personal than what I thought it was. You know, most people think, oh, it's just like, you know, TikTok and you're just dancing and stuff. But really, it's making these stories and putting them out there for the public to read or watch. So.
A couple of us have actually been to an event like this before. Not all, but a couple of us. But yet this event was so like monumental. Like they've managed to make it bigger and better than last year. But and with that and with those physical developments, they've also managed to get some new events that also broadened our knowledge about the different types of technology and software and things like that. Because we learned numerous amounts of things. We learned about objective language in journalism. We learned about feature stories and how to write one, how to capture an audience's attention just from your first paragraph, just from your first sentence. And really, like a couple of us have mentioned before, the amount of knowledge that we had about storytelling was solely based on what we saw online or on TV and or what we have in our library's bookshelves. But now we know that there's so much more. We can teach, we can uplift people, we can give advice. There's so many things to do with digital storytelling and storytelling in general and communication in general that a lot of us have not learned before.
Something to add on to that, we had a bunch of sessions and a bunch of people come in and teach us stuff. One of them that I am remembering now with this is the podcasting session from Dr. B. It was talking about how podcasting, you can make a podcast good by making sure that your words stand out and you're uplifting your tone, because some podcasts don't even have a video, so you can't have visual cues. So not only is all of this storytelling like in a video, it isn't just about the visual, and the actual like speaking audio is just as much important as the visuals are.
As y'all can probably tell, I have a pontification problem. So something that I learned was with working with the North Dakota Newspaper Association was learning that writing a feature story doesn't necessarily mean writing an essay. And we had a 1,000-word limit. Mine, as you can see, was 4 pages. It was over 300, 1,300. So yeah, I learned that writing doesn't necessarily mean pontificating. It's more getting the point across quickly and drawing in the reader before they get tired of it. And so with that, I'm going to stop talking because, otherwise I'm going to pontificate further.
So coming into this, I had no idea what digital storytelling is, and now leaving, I still don't exactly have it down, but I think what I've realized is that it's a lot more than actually just telling a story. It's like communicating to everyone how things work. Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to say how much I enjoyed working with those of you I got to visit with yesterday. It was really fun for me, and I'm really enjoyed seeing your final projects. I'm curious if any of you could share how this experience might have helped you hone in on the particular area of media that you might like to pursue as a career in the future.
Thank you, Cecile, for asking that question, because that's actually something that's amazing. And this campus actually helped me figure that out. Because the communications department has this program, I mentioned it earlier, the 3+3 program, where they can, you can spend 3 years working on your communications or journalism degree, and then the next 3 years you go to law school. And so that's hopefully what I want to do, and something that I really want to go into. And I talked with Cecile about this because I found out that newspapers actually do internships for high school students, paid internships. And so now I'm looking into that. And so thinking about that, I really love law and I really love journalism. And so I'm looking into doing legal journalism, covering legislature, covering crime and court cases. And so I think that this camp has actually helped me decipher what I really want to do, because becoming a lawyer can be a bit stressful. So I think legal journalism might be a better choice.
So, thank you for asking that question. So before I came into this, I'm still a very big writer. I love writing like books and stuff, and I never really went into like the news part of, you know, that side. I never went into the journalism. I never thought, oh, I'll publish an article or anything. This camp, really with this feature story, I really got to see the different sides of communication. It now kind of makes me rethink, like, do I want to stay with writing or do I want to go to journalism? Because writing that feature story about drones, God, that had, just reading it and typing it, I had goosebumps. And I was like, I hope somebody else has goosebumps. I kind of want to put my opinion out there, whether it's in a news article or something else. I kind of want to give other people goosebumps about things that are factual. I just want to put that out there because it is just like reading it. I was like, I want to publish this. Like, I was like, I can't wait to read this on the internet, just like scrolling through and go, I wrote that. Like, I want to feel like that kind of like, proud. I don't know what the word is, but I want to feel proud of myself and feel accomplished and go, I wrote that.
Before this camp, I do this thing in speech. It's called radio broadcasting, where I just get to cut news stories and write my own commentary and like read it off for competition. And I've always known that I wanted to kind of be in like news reporting and be like a reporter on a TV station. But after doing filming and stuff, I realized how much I actually like being behind the camera. I really like working with cameras and all the stuff that like goes into that. And I like editing a little more, not as much as the cameras though, but I really like just like working and filming and like photography and all that stuff. And I didn't really know that before. I just thought I liked speaking.
If you have kids, encourage them to go into radio. It's so much fun.
Okay, so for me, going to college this year, I love to write, and I mean, I'm the only person out of my friends who thinks that proofreading is fun, but obviously I can't just walk into somewhere and say, hey, I'm out of college, I'm going to start editing. Like, no. So I'd say learning a lot about leads and really just news writing in general really helped me, and talking about like paid internships too, because then I know I have somewhere to start in college or after college or whatever it may be. And then that I would say really just helped me, knowing that I can start by actually writing and kind of learn the basics, and that can help take me where I want to go in the future.
So for me, I've been looking towards going into the sports communication side of everything and play-by-play broadcasting for some sort of sports thing. And along with all of those, this camp has given us friends, but it has also like heightened our networking skills, where I know Dr. Lee is going to set up a LinkedIn for all of us to keep like talking about everything that we're doing and get connections if we need it. But having the newspaper people come in, me having Zach as my media coordinator when he works for UND Insider, taking pictures and videos of all the hockey games, basketball games, football games, that sets me up for the future for if I ever need to get a job or anything like that, because he might know someone, the newspaper people might know someone, Dr. Lee might know someone. Just heightening our networking skills to be able to have a way to get those job opportunities in the future when we need them is definitely one thing I got out of this camp for it.
As you can see, all of us have something that we want to achieve in our future. I personally want to become a diplomat, and I solely focused, before this camp, I solely focused on the travel aspect of it, and I completely threw out the window that while I'm traveling, like, I need to say something. I need to persuade the people to do something. And so with this camp, it just kind of opened up my mind and turned on the light bulb that basically how to persuade people, how to capture their attention. How am I going to send this message in this way? And as everyone else has said, they've thought about a certain aspect of their future, but they've forgotten that every single career needs some sort of communication. And so definitely this camp definitely helped all of us realize the importance that communication has with every single aspect of our jobs.
Great job. Okay, you guys can sit. Great questions and great answers. By the way, I think the Wi-Fi is a summer issue because we work all year long. There's no Wi-Fi issues. So don't take that into consideration when you're choosing where to go.
So just a quick thing. This is completely unscripted, but it's someone's birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Cooper. If you like to sing happy birthday, please join me. We're singing happy birthday. It's objectively happening. Go on. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cooper and Lincoln. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. You're now old.
Curious, creative, and brave. See, I told you all of those words. I think that sums it up. Thank you for all your great questions and all of the great answers. As you heard, I think you can tell the camp has been very meaningful and valuable to the students. And we just can't thank you all enough for joining us and letting your kids and trusting us with your kids at this camp. So now, someone mentioned it, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention that we are working on forming a Digital Storytelling Summit alumni network. This was our second camp, so we have the class of 2024 and their interns, and then 2 of these students returned from last year, and then we have 1 intern who returned as well. And so we created a LinkedIn group. We asked the students what the best way to connect was, and we mentioned Facebook, and they all laughed, so I guess that's how we know we're aging out. But so we created a LinkedIn group, which most of them didn't have a LinkedIn yet, but we kind of talked to them about the value of a LinkedIn, and we use it a lot in college to connect with other students, professors, people across campus to showcase. It's basically like a website that is a resume, and you get to post all of your accomplishments and the classes you've completed and the things that you've done. And so we encouraged them all to create a LinkedIn so that we can add them to the group. And throughout, if anyone has any updates to share, if anyone's coming to UND and has questions, anything like that, we encourage them to post into our LinkedIn group, and we can all stay connected with each other because we really don't want to lose these connections. As you can see, they've all become great friends with themselves and with us and with mentors. And so we want to keep that connection going and kind of add to it every single year as we keep this camp. Next year, when we do our Digital Storytelling Summit, of course, you're invited to join us again as a camper. But if you have other things going on and you can't make it as a participant, we're going to have some sort of luncheon or networking event after the final presentation. So even if you're not a camper, past campers, past interns, other professionals, journalists throughout the community are going to be invited to this luncheon to join us to kind of have a little reconnect every year to keep the connection going and keep an ongoing conversation about communication and the communication department and internships and job opportunities and all of those great things. So just keep that in mind for the future. We also want to mention that, so last summer was our first Digital Storytelling Summit camp, and each year in the communication department we host our marquee event kind of in April. called Communication Appreciation Day, where we invite all of the UND-COM alumni, students, professors, and anybody in the community and campus who wants to come. And we showcase student work. We have roundtables with professionals so students can meet people in the community who are offering jobs. We talk about all of the amazing programs that we have. Some of them shouted out some of our cool programs, so if you have any questions, let us know. But anyway, we have this great afternoon event that we host every year, and this year we were able to invite our last year's Digital Storytelling Summit campers to come do a showcase, and they got to basically do their final presentation for this new group where they presented their feature stories and their videos. And so I know it's a long way away, so if you're a planner, you can mark your calendar. But just remember, April 23rd next year, you will all be invited back to campus to present your final stories and kind of promote the Digital Storytelling Summit and what you learned and give it a shout out so that we can recruit the next class of campers. So that's our note about the Communication Appreciation Day. And then finally, I wanted to mention, as you can see in the video, and some of you are following our social media, so you've seen, been joining us all week on our journey. There's a lot of photos and videos. I created this Google Drive. Hopefully the QR code works. Everybody here knows that I was struggling with QR codes. Woo! It's a photo drive that includes all of the photos that we took throughout the event. So we had a student photographer and a student videographer who was taking all of these great pictures. Dr. Lee took a bunch of pictures as well. So there's a folder for that. There's a folder for student content. So any photos that they took throughout the camp, we asked them if they were appropriate and they wanted their parents to see them to upload them. So there's some fun images in there that your students took on their phones. And then there's also a professional headshots folder. And so on the first day of camp, one of our interns, Kira, took professional headshots of all of these students. And so we told them if they don't have one, they can use it for their LinkedIn that they're going to create to join this network. And so there's a link with their name in the folder to all of the professional headshots that you can use for whatever you'd like. And they all turned out really great. So that's the final note for that. I'm going to welcome Dr. Lee back up to the stage here.
So now it's time to celebrate our students' big achievement. So we will distribute a certificate.
Okay, one by one, we're just going to ask each student to come up to the stage and accept their award. If parents, if you want to come, we're going to take pictures as well, but if you want to sneak up to the front and take a picture of your student getting their award, you absolutely can. So first, we're going in alphabetical order by last name. So Robert Burns. Ben Carpenter. Olivia Dendy. Jacob Drulo. Cooper Fry. Anna Greedle. Cordelia High. Rain Katovich. Lillian McKeef. Caitlin Melee. Liv Satram. Amelia Shook. Ryan Singh. Kaylee Stansberry.
Good job.
Brinley Stegeman.
Good job.
And Loki Silskar.